What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to do a power steering flush on the 4th gen 4Runner. If you have a 5th gen, 3rd gen, this is going to be very similar. This is just going to show how to flush the power steering fluid in your Toyota truck. You can use it for Tacoma, Tundra, what have you. Even a Lexus, even a 470, GX, LX, boom. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, we need fluid. I picked up this Mobile One ATF. If you're going in the 4th gen, you do not use power steering fluid. What you use instead is ATF, Dextron 2 or 3. Make sure you read the specifications. Don't put power steering fluid in there. We're going to be replacing it with Dextron 2 or 3 ATF. With that being said, we're going to have to empty out that fluid. I would recommend between 2 and 3 liters of this because we're going to flush it out and we're going to keep flushing it until it's a clean fluid coming out. Give yourself more, better than having too little fluid. And so let's go ahead and remove the current fluid. In case you didn't know it, this is your power steering fluid reservoir. I'm not going to make a video on cleaning this reservoir out. I might do that in the future though. But for today, we're just going to do a quick flush. So basically the premise is we're going to remove the fluid and then we're going to open up this return line. And so we're going to open this up, put a cap on here, and then attach a little hose into here, which basically means the closed system is now all exiting. So we're just going to then move our wheels side to side. That's going to push all the fluid out, and we're going to put new fluid in at the same time. If that's a little bit complicated to follow, don't worry. Let's get started on this. For those of you that don't remember, we use this to fill up our diffs and our transfer case. All we're going to do is stick it in here, and we're going to start pumping that fluid out of here. As you can see, it's pretty dirty already. Ooh, yo, 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 yo. Got some Coca-Cola in here, so we're just going to pump all this nasty fluid out. Okay, good call, Dylan. And so I'm obviously really good at this. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pump this out. And we're going to continue back when we're done this part. Alright, so we're just finishing this up. Just going to squirt a little bit more because we want to take some out so when we open up that return line, it doesn't get everywhere. I'm just going to throw this on the ground and show you guys what was in here. Look at that. That looks like a mistake. Generally speaking, I don't think there's ever a time in life when you probably want liquid to look like this. And so that's why we're flushing it. Let's get rid of this nasty liquid. Let's do it. Here we go. So now that we've got the liquid out, what we're going to do is take this clamp off. To do that, basic pliers, and we're going to pull it backwards so it's away from the inlet there, and now we should be able to wiggle this off. Of course, we're going to be very careful. I'm going to use 2 hands and actually get on a stool because this 4Runner is a little bit lifted. Keep in mind, when you pull this off, this is going to leak. Some people will take a plastic bag and zip tie it to here. What we're going to use is a vacuum cap. I'll show you how I do that in just a second. Alright, so now that we got the clamp down here, you might be encountering this problem where this is a little bit seized. You can take a screwdriver, work underneath, break the seal, but what you really got to do is just work this return line back and forth like an argument. You got to be consistent with this thing, and slowly but surely you're going to start making a little bit of progress. Being careful, we don't want to rip anything, we don't want to break anything, but just slowly working this off. Once you get this off, you're going to have to be quick to put the bag on or a cap. Alright, so we got it off. It took a while. I'm sweating. And as you can see, I got a rag under here. And then on here is a vacuum cap. If you guys remember back to when we built that washer fluid, this thing right here. Oh, man. Well, I dropped every single vacuum cap I own on the ground. But what I was going to show everybody was right here. So 3/8 vacuum cap fits perfectly on the return valve. Oh, this sucks so much. I have vacuum caps everywhere. Regardless, guys, put one on there, then we have the hose, and we're going to feed another hose inside here, and then we'll resume. Alright, so now that I cleaned up those caps, what we're doing is we're taking this 1/4 vacuum line, fluid line. I have it clear so I can just kind of see, it's like a bleed line really, to see when clean fluid is coming out. And I've just put it in here. It fits perfectly. We can put the clamp over top of it too if we want more of a tight seal. This is just the return line. And now we can feed this down into our bucket, which is going to be pretty great. Alright, now before we start cranking the wheels, we're just going to fill this up with some new fluid to keep it topped up. We don't ever want this to run dry because then we can introduce air to the system. So I'm just going to pour some ATF in here. Nice and clear. And that's just going to drink for a bit. Probably can get a better funnel. This one's a little bit airtight, so. Alright, so now that we have a little bit in, I'm just going to top this up a little bit more because we want it to be nice and full for us. And that is too full. That's fine though. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in the vehicle, switch it to on. We're not going to start the truck because we don't actually want the pump to work for this. So the vehicle's in the air, the wheels are off the ground. We're going to put it to on, and we're going to go pretty much almost full lock to full lock. And then our return line should have fluid coming out of it. As you can see, we're already pushing out some of that yucky fluid. So let's go ahead and do one full lock and see what happens. And here we are. Look at this, guys. One lock to lock, and look at all this Coca-Cola that's coming out of here. No new fluid yet, and if we were to look at the reservoir, which I'm about to show you guys, it's almost empty again. And so one lock to lock is pretty much one drain and fill of the reservoir, and we want to keep that topped up. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to top this up again and go lock to lock again, but this time I'm going to show you guys how much fluid is coming out and kind of see what we're aiming for in terms of that color change. So as you guys can see, we are pretty much in the green. All the dirty fluid is coming out. So we're going to do one more rotation of that just to clear out the entirety of the line. And then we're going to put in our fluid that we're going to keep in here. So I'm just going to do one more quick drain and fill. And now we're just going to run it between again. All right, now that our fluid is all clean, we are just going to attach our line back to our return valve here, and we're going to fill it up to the proper level and then start the truck and continue to bleed it until all the air is out. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this to the cold line now. About there. And with the cap back on and at full, we're going to start the truck and just go side to side again. So if you look closely, you can kind of see a little bit of bubbling, some frothing. We're just going to wait till that's gone. So we're going to go side to side a little bit. Alright, so after running it for a little bit, going side to side, the groaning definitely went down. Now I'm just going to check. Everything looks good. Fluid is looking clean. No contaminants or anything. Way cleaner. I'm just going to top up a tiny bit more. Just put us right in between that cold min and max. Beautiful, and that is exactly where I want to be. So I'm going to put this on, and we are done, folks. That's how easy it is to flush your power steering fluid on your 4Runner, or really any Toyota. So I hope this was helpful. All the things I used are going to be in the description, and so I'll catch you next time. See you later.